broadcast. Yet another initiative that the Chinese think that perhaps is going to needle India, but that's not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. On the other side, my colleague Niranjan joins you with the forces first.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH।
Welcome you watching This Is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. Once again, we're getting you some fascinating details of one of India's most successful military operations. That's the Operation Sindoor. Tonight we tell you how the Chinese, Turkey as well Pakistan all were foxed by India's strategic moves that were made. Details of that and a very interesting development that's taking place in India. We'll get you all the details. But up first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Republic Newsbreak confirmed Turkey lost 2 of its civilian contractors helping Pakistan with its drone attacks against India. Days after 20% Pakistan airbase destroyed, details of damage to the Pakistan Air Force fleets out. Top Pakistani Air Force fighter jets taken down by India. Well, the nation now stands with the forces. Tiranga Yatra epitomizes the celebration across the country. Big diplomatic win for India. BSF Jawan, who was in Pakistan custody since 23rd of April, handed over at the Tari border. Republic invites all nationalist Indians to join the Nationalist Collective Movement, the only forum that makes nation first its only calling. With every passing day, there are fascinating details that are emerging of Operation Sindoor. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we take you through the details of how India was able to take over China, Pakistan and Turkey together. And their strategy was completely taken out of the battlefield. Now, we've got some details of the Indian Armed Forces undertaking and carrying out Operation Sindoor. We are learning that Indian Air Force bypassed and jammed Pakistan's Chinese-supplied air defense systems, completing the mission in just 23 minutes, demonstrating India's technological edge. And not just that, ladies and gentlemen, the big breaking news now coming in 23 minutes. That's all that it took for India to complete the entire mission. Can we have that on the screen? In just 23 minutes. Operation was completed in 23 minutes, bypassing all defense systems. Now, these defense systems that were brought into place were supplied to the Pakistanis by the Chinese. So, clear indication of how Chinese weapons have also completely failed here. We'll stay with the breaking news now coming in because we're getting more details of how India was able to carry out this entire precision strike, and as far as this air defense system is concerned. Now, we are being told that the Chinese supplied air defense system was completed in just 23 minutes, demonstrating India's technological edge. Now, we are also being told that there is concrete evidence of hostile technology that have been neutralized. That basically includes PL-15 missiles of Chinese origin, Turkish origin UAVs named Yaha, long-range rockets, quadcopters and commercial drones that were also neutralized. They were recovered, identified, showing that despite Pakistan's aim to exploit advanced foreign supplied weaponry. India's indigenous air defense and electronic warfare networks remained absolutely superior. Now, details coming in 23 minutes, all that it took to complete this. Now, let's take you to the second breaking news now coming in. India's offensive strikes that targeted key Pakistani air bases Noor Khan and Rahim Yar Khan with surgical precision. Loitering munitions were used to carry out devastating effect, each finding and destroying high-value targets, including enemy radar as well as missile systems. All strikes were executed without any loss of Indian assets, underscoring the effectiveness of our surveillance, planning as well as the delivery system. Now, what India has done is the use of modern indigenous technology, from long-range drones to guided munitions, made these strikes highly effective, and it was also calibrated in a manner that Pakistanis were completely foxed. They did not know what was really hitting them. Loitering munition was also used. Rahim Yar Khan, as you can see, Rahim Yar Khan as well as Noor Yar Khan, both essentially taking a heavy hit right now, with their airstrips being completely damaged, their air hangars being damaged, and aircrafts too. We're going to, in a short while from now, take you through each of the details coming in as far as those aircrafts that have been destroyed. We're going to take you through all the details coming in. Let me also take you through another breaking news coming in, and then consolidated, we're going to tell you the entire picture, the larger picture. ISRO chairman V. Narayanan has now explained ISRO's contribution to Operation Sindoor. Now, getting you the breaking news that at least 10 satellites are continuously working round the clock for the strategic purpose to ensure the safety and security of the citizens of the country. To ensure the safety of the country, the nation has been served through its satellites. It has to monitor about 7,000 kilometers seashore areas. It has to monitor the entire northern part continuously. Without satellite and drone technology, in fact, a lot of it could not have been achieved. We are being told that at least 10 ISRO has deployed 10 round-the-clock satellites. 10 satellites have been monitoring 7,000 kilometers of the seashore. Can we just make that correction? It's the seashore of 7,000 kilometers. And we're going to take you through more detail. We just pulled this out because there's some errors here. But just a consolidated report that we have right there. Some very fascinating details. One, can you imagine the entire operation was completed in just 23 minutes? Now, this was all done because this was done in a precision manner. The fact that the identification of the targets, then using the weapons that would have ensured that there is very little detection. So there was no radar detection that has taken place. Third, the fact that this was spread across in a manner that it had destroyed all the ammunition that was basically being used to bring down these drones. Now, these are some of the details. Can we just fire the first details we had put out first with regards to the 23 minutes? Then we can also put out details of the other part of the breaking news now coming in with regards to ISRO basically using 10 satellites that have been used for carrying out monitoring of at least 7,000 kilometers of the seashore, and of course the northern part too was effectively being monitored by the ISRO throughout this entire operation. Now, we are also being told that as far as the details now coming in with regards to the operation, particularly about how you've had the air bases being targeted. Let's first listen in to the response that has now come in, how ISRO basically played a role in this operation.
You know, we are having our neighbors, you all know, I need not explain. If we have to ensure safety of this country, we have to really serve through the satellite. We have to monitor the entire 7,500 kilometer seashore area, we have to monitor. And the entire northern part, we have to monitor continuously. Without satellite technology, without drone technology, we cannot achieve that. Today I am happy to inform that at least 10 satellites are continuously working, 24/7 working for the strategic purpose to ensure safety and security of the citizens of this country.
Joining us on this broadcast is our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, some fascinating details really coming in. 23 minutes, that's all that it took to destroy at least two of Pakistan's key air bases. And in a short while from now, Abhishek, I've also got details of the exact number of aircrafts that have been destroyed. The aircraft that has been destroyed in Pakistan. 23 minutes and it's all over.
Well, yes, Shravan, but so far as that ISRO chairman's soundbite is concerned, I have two important takeaways from it. One, that he literally announced that India has 10 military satellites taking care of our defense, our national security up in the air, India's eyes in the sky, and from the seashore to the northern areas, the hills and the mountains, everywhere, they are taking care. And in fact, they perhaps played an important role in providing the exact coordinates leading to those precision strikes. Remember, in Noor Khan base, for example, you hit those exact areas where you wanted to hit. Similarly, in the Bulari base, you hit a hangar, which is like the only building on that runway, and then you hit exactly that right in the middle. So I believe that those coordinates were provided by those satellites that the ISRO chairman is talking about. The other takeaway for me from that soundbite was, Shravan, that he said it in the present continuous, that these satellites are in air and assisting our armed forces and taking care of national security, which means like the position that India has maintained, that Operation Sindoor has not yet been called off. It seems that all the forces are working in coordination, and of course ISRO chipping in, and that also proves the kind of fantastic coordination work that took place in terms of collation of data and executing Operation Sindoor based on that data between various agencies, ISRO of course being one of them.
Well, Abhishek, I'll just request you to stay on with us as we're getting in more details right now. Also coming up in a short while from now, the other big exclusive tonight of how there are black channel talks are basically going on with another country. But before that, let me now take you through the details of the number of aircrafts that have been destroyed in Pakistan. 20% of the Pakistan aircraft infrastructure has completely been destroyed. More details are basically out. Pakistan Air Force has basically lost 5 high-stake jets in the Indian Air Force strikes. I'm going to just quickly take you through some of the details that we have right now. Each of these aircraft that we're talking about that Pakistan has been extremely proud of. Now, clear indication of what has been taken down. As we are putting it, we have basically struck their thunder because we're talking about the JF-17, we're talking about the F-16. At least 5 of Pakistan Air Force's aircrafts have been taken down. Mirage 5, this is the 1960 era French-designed ground attack aircraft that has been taken out. Let's quickly move on. Mirage 5, which is equipped with outdated aerial combat systems. Now, this is what the Pakistanis have lost. Lacks modern electronic warfare capabilities. Mirage 5 down. Can we have the others going in right now? This is the other aircraft that has been taken out. JF-17 sets, Pakistani-Chinese co-developed JF-17 Thunder jets have been shot down. This, what you see, that the Pakistanis are extremely proud of because they believe that this can take on perhaps the Rafales, is what they had made an argument. Likely engaged by IF's Rafales and Su-30 MKIs. Remember, the Su-30 MKIs are the ones which have been used for firing the Brahmos. Armed with PL-15, I beg your pardon, missile which were confirmed damaged. PL-15 used, fired by the JF-17s, taken down. Let's move on. Now, this is the third aircraft, F-16. Remember, the F-16, the Pakistanis believed was the counter to the Rafales that we have. It turns out they've lost this also. US supplied F-16 equipped with missiles taken down. This was taken down too. Let's just quickly move on. The other details coming in. Loss is significant because F-16s are part of what Pakistan calls their superior fleet. That too has now been taken down. Now, Saab 2000, this happens to be, remember, there another aerial aircraft. It's a high-tech aircraft that was shot down at the PF base in Bulari. Saab 2000 AWACS. Now, the AWACS, remember, was taken down on the second day itself. That basically rendered the radar systems crippled to a greater extent. Saab critical for the Air Force's airborne surveillance. So basically, essentially looking at whether at all any enemy aircraft can be detected. Precision strike likely inflicted heavy damage at the Saab hangars in Bulari because we're being told that as far as Saab is concerned, Saab 2000, it had a hangar in Bulari. Bulari is one of the airbase which has now been taken down. Now, these are unidentified aircraft. Now, we do not know which one were there's a speculation over the 5th aircraft being destroyed by Indian forces. Now, this ladies and gentlemen, we are not very sure which aircraft was the fifth aircraft of the Pakistanis that has been taken. Now, speculation suggests it could be JF-17 or a Chinese J-10C. J-10C or a JF-17 may have been taken down. That official confirmation hasn't really come in from our sources. Now, that's how the Pakistanis have been inflicted heavy damage, and perhaps coming out of it may be very, very difficult for them. Ladies and gentlemen, things are really moving fast right now with regards to these talks that are actually taking place. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we get you details that have really not come out. How exactly is India and Afghanistan really cozying up? Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we're taking you to the details that we just have got a short while back of a senior leader from the Taliban is believed to be in India. Sources in Kabul claim that Mullah Muhammad Ibrahim Sadr, a top security official in the Taliban regime, arrived in the country around 3rd of May. This was just days after the Pahalgam massacre. He's close to Taliban's supreme leader and controls a good deal of the group's security apparatus. Now, what's more is that he's known to have little love for Pakistan, a country that's long had deep involvement in Afghanistan's internal affairs. If he's in India, it could essentially mean be a quiet recalibration by New Delhi at a time of renewed tension with Islamabad. Remember, Taliban has already issued ultimatums to Islamabad with regards to what's really happening along the Durand line. And not just that, we have seen there's been a crisis, a refugee crisis that is essentially brewing along the Durand line. But the fact of the matter is this: details now coming in of this visit that has been made by a top Taliban leader. We'll stay with this breaking news right now, and I'll just take a quick question from Abhishek. Abhishek, it appears that you've had a top Taliban leader coming in, and the visit was made to New Delhi, and this was on just 3rd of May. 3rd of May. Let me take you through some of the details we have right now. Who exactly is this person? How is he connected? And more importantly, why it becomes so very significant? Because remember, we are talking about a leader who is considered to be extremely close to the Taliban supreme leader, and he is Mullah Muhammad Ibrahim Sadr. He's a top security official in the Taliban regime. We are being told, was in the country starting on 3rd of May, and he was there for quite some time. Now, in fact, we've also reached out to the Foreign Ministry in Kabul. In fact, they haven't denied as far as the visit is concerned. In fact, we have also requested for more details coming in from the Taliban regime. We have written to them. A short while back, Abhishek, I got in touch with the Foreign Ministry in Kabul. They have not denied, but having said that, they're also not revealing the agenda of the meeting. It is extremely significant because we are talking at a time when things aren't really good between Islamabad and Kabul. What are you reading right now? Because India, it seems, is now carrying out a back-channel talk too.
Not exactly, not that much back channel also, Shawan. In fact, the dialogue is very open now. We have re-engaged and established good contacts with the Taliban government there in Kabul, the Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan, as they style themselves. And a tremendous amount of humanitarian effort, support has been flowing into Afghanistan, including food, including medicines, including education. Of course, India insists that the government should be more inclusive, should include other factions and groups and ethnicities in Afghanistan, in the government. And India maintains that Afghan soil should not be used for any acts of terror or cross-border terrorism into India. But then we are told that all this engagement is actually turning fruitful now. And this visit that you are mentioning about Muhammad Ibrahim Sadr, he was there in the first week of May, and amidst the heightened tensions between India and Pakistan, though of course not related. And it was part of the larger engagement that we have established with the Taliban government over the last couple of years, after having completely come out of Kabul post the takeover of the government there by Taliban in 2021. So those things are there in terms of India having reconnected with Kabul again, and to the benefit of the larger India-Afghanistan relationship. And Pakistan, of course, would be uncomfortable given the fact that in the present, as you rightly mentioned, Islamabad and Kabul are not in the best of terms on the issue of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province and the larger border between the two countries that's defined by the Durand line, which Afghanistan does not recognize. So obviously, in that backdrop, for an Afghan senior official, he is effectively of the rank of Minister of State, and he works in the Interior Ministry or the Home Ministry, as we call it here, and he was here for some specific purposes, and while we are not being shared about that because officially as yet we do not recognize the Kabul regime, the visit itself gains significance, particularly because it came just a week or so after India's Joint Secretary in the PI division, as it is called, the Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran division. He visited Kabul and met with many of the senior ministers and officials of the Taliban government there.
Well, thank you very much, Abhishek. That's a significant development. Only network to get a confirmation with regards to the secret visit of a top Taliban leader here in the national capital. India has once again issued a strong rebuttal to China's attempts to rename certain places in Arunachal Pradesh, with Beijing refers to as Zhangnan, or the southern part of Tibet. The Ministry of External Affairs, responding to a fresh round of Chinese place in naming initiatives, dismissed the exercise as absolutely futile, reiterated India's stance on the status of the state. China, which claims Arunachal Pradesh as part of its territory, has often released maps with several places within the northeastern state renamed. Joining us on This Is Exclusive tonight is Arunachal Pradesh parliamentarian Tapir Gao. Mr. Gao, this is not the first time that we have seen this kind of an attempt that has been made. Now, is it yet again that the Chinese are trying to needle us, given the fact that we are already dealing with a situation on the western side?
So good evening. Whatever the China is doing, it has got no meaning, because His Holiness Dalai Lama has also gave the statement that Arunachal was never part of southern Tibet or Tibet. So it is unnecessary on the part of Chinese government that they are giving some names inside Arunachal. Arunachal has never been a part of southern Tibet. It's a part of India, so there is no issue. They have meaninglessly giving name, rivers name, lands name. So we are totally condemned whatever the China is doing on Arunachal Pradesh.
Mr. Gao, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Yet another initiative that the Chinese think that perhaps is going to needle India, but that's not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. On the other side, my colleague Niranjan joins you with the forces first.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH।
Welcome you watching This Is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. Once again, we're getting you some fascinating details of one of India's most successful military operations. That's the Operation Sindoor. Tonight we tell you how the Chinese, Turkey, as well Pakistan all were foxed by India's strategic moves that were made. Details of that and a very interesting development that's taking place in India. We'll get you all the details. But up first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Republic Newsbreak confirmed Turkey lost 2 of its civilian contractors helping Pakistan with its drone attacks against India. Days after 20% Pakistan airbase destroyed details of damage to the Pakistan Air Force fleets out. Top Pakistani Air Force fighter jets taken down by India. Well, the nation now stands with the forces. Tiranga Yatra epitomizes the celebration across the country. Big diplomatic win for India. BSF Jawan, who was in Pakistan custody since 23rd of April, handed over at the Tari border. Republic invites all nationalist Indians to join the Nationalist Collective Movement, the only forum that makes nation first its only calling.